Welcome to step one of the number one trusted first-time homebuyer system in the U.S., broken down into 10 steps. And you're starting at step one, and this is a system that everybody can use. No more guesswork, step-by-step clarity so you can confidently start your planning. Let's do this.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the number one resource for first-time homebuyers.
What's up? Welcome into the community. You are now an official How to Buy a Homie. I'm your first-time homebuyer coach, David Sidoni, and here's the 10 steps we're going to be covering. Step one's today, and that's decide. By the way, steps 2 through 10, they don't mean a damn thing if you don't grasp step one. Don't worry, we're going to do that today. Step 2, get your guides. Step 3, improve your credit score. Step 4 is managing your debt and figuring out how to work with that. Step 5 is working on your savings. How much are you actually going to need? And how do you get there? Step 6 is going to be your financial goals and your personal goals. Goals is a big one. Step 7 is going to be real estate terms and definitions that you're going to need to know. Step 8 is going to be online research, how the professionals search for homes and how you can do it too. Step 9 is going to be practicing your adulting by practicing your new payment so you never feel house poor. And step 10, know your current housing market and the current correct way that buyers are putting in their offers, negotiating, and buying homes without getting burned. Those are the 10 steps. And they are specifically in an order, very sequential on purpose. Make sure you follow them in order. This is a process. I know you might feel the urge to skip ahead or jump around, but fight it. Go in order. That's how you get the best results. Because getting out of the right sequence, that's what torpedoes enthusiastic planners. And when you follow these steps in the proper order, there's a really good chance that you can be a lot closer to buying a home than you think. And I've got the data to back it up. 7 years here at How to Buy a Home. And here's the numbers. 72% of people who reached out to us and they said they're a year or 18 months from being ready to buy a home. When they followed this system, 72% of them were under contract for a home in 3.2 months. So right now, that means there are 72% chance that right now you're listening and you're a hell of a lot closer than you think. And especially in 2026 and going into 2027, because so many people are looking around and thinking that homeownership is impossible, or they think that it's something that they're going to have to wait for. It's important that you get all the details and follow the steps in order, because I deal in math here and the data tells that it is possible. This is why step 1 is decide. The mission here is education and empowerment so you can do this right. But for most of you out there, 72% in fact, you have incomplete or just wrong facts. So decide today. Let's fix that. Because this isn't about deciding to buy a home in a month or two, no matter what you find out. This is about deciding to stop asking if you can buy a home and start planning how are you going to buy a home. I'm here to give you your official permission to start your planning, even if you think that you are totally not ready. Because in the 10 steps, you're going to get clear action steps, things you can start while you keep researching and learning and getting yourself all the information you need. You can start the action steps on multiple different aspects of the process and continue your research. It's what we call parallel planning. More on that a little bit later in the steps. You're here, so you want to figure out how to do this in the best way possible. Awesome. If you're looking for a clear and simple answer on how to do that, here it is. No matter when it's right for you to personally buy your first home, for you to get the best results from all the research you're doing, today is the right day to start your planning. Period. The end. Curtain. You know what? That's it. End of step 1. JT, we're done. Play the music. Wait. All right. I'll give you a little bit more. Remove this from your thinking. Oh, you know what? I'm not really ready to start planning. Remove that, because everyone can start a plan today, and those who do will have hundreds more options available whenever their time is right. Here are some principles to ease your anxiety and increase your confidence. Planning has zero requirement for you to purchase a home because it's planning, and plans change all the time. Planning is the best way to maximize your home buying experience, far more than going deep into the research and analysis paralysis. Follow these steps and you're going to discover all the options as a first-time home buyer, and you're going to get to know those things first before you ever step foot into a home or scrolling the night away on Zillow. I've coached thousands of first-time home buyers, and I spend my life seeing the world through your eyes. Right now, man, I empathize with your situation. But the cool thing is, I've seen people do this. Even in 25 and 26, I know there are options out there for you. So I want you to see and understand the hope. It's there. The possibilities lie in adjusting how you approach this. See, most first-time home buyers start with the wrong question, and it can be crazy discouraging. So here's how to abandon despair and embrace your power. Stop asking if and start asking how, and what can you do today to take the first little baby steps to get there on the timeline that works best for you. Forget, can I buy a home? Ask, how do you do it eventually? And if you're wondering why you should decide to do this, if you're several months or even years out from buying a home, the answer is math. In today's high rent environments, every year or month of delay, that reduces your wealth accumulation. That's not a theory, it's freaking math. Too many people, when they calculate this, they're using the wrong formula. Buying a home is not about figuring out, how do I afford this new big high expense? No, buying a home, it's a rent replacement strategy. It's not a new monthly expense, it's a replacement. And that is a totally different mathematical equation. Decide right now, you're going to calculate your current large monetary monthly output for shelter, your rent, versus utilizing your largest monthly monetary output for a new shelter. Plus, if you do that, you're also going to have different financial benefits that you don't have as a renter. You're going to be owning an appreciating asset that you are paying down monthly, and it acts as a forced savings account for your future. And you also get tax benefits. All of that needs to go into the equation. When you clearly comprehend all the math, well, that's where the decision becomes much clearer. You can hear more about the rent replacement strategy in the episode with that title. Check the episode guide. We'll put a link in the show notes. Now, much of what you hear in all these 10 steps, I got to let you know, it's going to be a lot different than what you may have already heard or found in your research. There's a reason that you might hear that you need a 20% down payment or an 800 credit score, or you got to make over 6 figures to buy a decent home, or that your student loans are going to keep you from getting a loan approval. The reason is because big real estate sucks. They're greedy and they're lazy, and they would rather ignore you and let you figure out all of this is wrong on your own instead of offering you the education that you need. The detailed education and planning, that's just not profitable for the big real estate companies. So part of decide is deciding to beat the system by not taking the average route in your planning. Decide to be better than average in your planning so you can achieve extraordinary results. Remember what I said, 72% of the people who think they're over a year away from buying after going through these 10 steps, they're under contract buying a home in 3.2 months. But they didn't think they were ready because of all these incorrect myths and fears. Fear of the market, affordability, fear of qualifying, or fear of making a mistake. Well, here's the cool thing. I know how you beat fear. Fear disappears when it's replaced with knowledge and information. There's no dumb questions when you're just planning. Here at How to Buy a Home, I'm officially removing the stigma to the word ignorant. I'm totally ignorant when it comes to performing heart surgery or fixing my carburetor. And you are ignorant when it comes to planning to buy a home and understanding all the options you have. Rad, we're all ignorant because we don't know what we don't know. So let's replace that now. Because most people, due to ignorance or fear, they assume the first step in planning for homeownership happens with a loan application or on a spreadsheet to evaluate your readiness. No, it happens right between your ears. And if you're looking for some real life inspiration to be the kick in the ass you need to start this simple planning, hey, great news. You can hear actual real people just like you. People who decided to start their plan and they got results beyond their wildest dreams. There are over 125 interviews with renters that became buyers, and it's in the episode guide. Their stories give tons of incredible tips and tactics, along with some great inspiration and motivation. You can hear stories from single mothers. Some of them thought that they never could buy a home, like Viola from episode 265. or young couples who bought a home while one of them was 10 months pregnant. Yeah, that's a thing. That was Kyle and Carla from episode 463. Or you can hear the story of 24-year-old Kennedy. She thought she was 3 years away from being able to buy her dream home, only to discover when she followed these 10 steps, she found out she could buy a $300,000 home in 3 months with only $6,500 all in. That was her down payment and closing costs. That's episode 456. We've got stories with buyers who bought $200,000 homes all the way up to $2 million from all different walks of life. I've interviewed the full spectrum of buyers, so check the episode guide. And that's where you can get those tips, tactics, inspiration, motivation. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up step 1 with this. If you're out there feeling overcome and confused, overwhelmed by the entire first-time homebuyer process, I got to tell you, I'm not surprised. It's not your fault. The good news for you is that you have this podcast right now in your ear holes, and you're still here at the end of step 1. So that tells me something about you. It tells me that you're serious enough to invest your time learning. You want to figure this out before making what is the biggest financial decision of your life. And I don't take that lightly. I respect your commitment. And really, I'm honored to be part of your journey. And I promise I'm going to keep earning your trust every step of the way. Because why I do this is simple. And you know what? Might even sound a little bit corny, but I am a totally open book, as transparent as you can be. That's just who I am. See, what happened is I saw a travesty of injustice that was happening. So I decided to use this platform to help as many people as I can to get rid of the fear and add the knowledge. Hell, I got 20 years of knowledge. I'm going to give it all away to you so that you can understand how to do this right. And right now, a lot of people think this isn't possible, but there's a better way to do this where it is possible. That's why I end every episode with me saying, you can do this. If you want to hear more about why I do this, after the 10 steps in episode 511, I'll do a whole full episode explaining who the hell I am and why I'm doing this, if you're curious about that. But today, it's just about you and step 1. All of you can do step 1, because step 1 isn't deciding to buy a home. Step 1 is deciding that home ownership is important enough to deserve a plan. And with the right personal plan for you, you can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyaHome.com to get started.